It is 2 p.m. The meeting will come to order. Happy New Year. I'm going to look at our roll call first. We have our trustees, all of them. We have our treasurer. I missed you last time and overlooked the fact that you're on our board already, so much of a mistake last time. And the director is here, the assistant director is here. Council is not here. I'm expecting council to show up. I don't know what time. Our marketing and communication and marketing manager is here, and we have a quorum. Our first item on the agenda. Next is our Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next up on the agenda is public comment, and speakers will state their name and their community and speak for no more than 3 minutes. Persons addressing the board are expected to observe a level of civility and decorum appropriate for a public meeting. No personal attacks or disruptions from audience members will be tolerated. And we have one person signed up today, Michelle Lippert.
Good afternoon, Michelle Lippert, Post Falls. I would like to thank Trustee Otteson for responding to my email. Unfortunately, the response did not address or resolve my concerns. Your reply suggested that I misunderstood the catalog, that misinformation was being circulated, and I may have been deceived. That implication is incorrect. My conclusions are based on direct evidence. Dated screenshots from the library catalog documenting the status and due dates of the books in question. I have the receipts. Let me restate my questions clearly. This board has received numerous requests to relocate books. While many of those requests have been acted upon, the majority of the effective titles were not moved to the adult section. Instead, they were removed from public shelves entirely and are now listed as checked out with due dates of June 29th, 2026. According to the director, these books are technically available to patrons upon request. I can confirm that I have successfully requested and received some of them. However, there was a documented period from May 2025 through October 2025, during which that access was not available. So the questions remain. Why are these books not on the shelves? If they were reviewed as part of the relocation process, what justifies their continued removal? Are they undergoing additional evaluation? As of now, 140 titles have been listed as under review since December of 2023. All are marked as checked out with the same due date, June 29th, 2026. This is not a coincidence. It's a pattern. For a year and a half, these books have effectively been inaccessible through normal browsing, despite assurances to the contrary. This is not a misunderstanding of the catalog. It's a matter of transparency, process, and accountability. I am asking again for a clear explanation of why these books remain off the shelves and when, if ever, this prolonged review will conclude. Thank you.
Thank you. I only have one person signed up. Anybody else that may have missed signing up? No, going once, going twice, done. Thank you. This concludes the public comment portion of the meeting. We'll now move on to the consent agenda. Agenda number 5. Is open for discussion, comments, changes. Anyone have any changes or comments regarding the consent agenda? Without any negative commentary on this, we can go ahead and proceed to, I would, what do you call it here, entertain a motion to approve the, sorry, yeah, the, agenda, sorry. I messed up. Hold on a second, let me find where I lost my place here. All right. Here we are. Yes, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Someone motion?
So moved.
The move, it has been moved to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Very good. It is approved. Accepted. And we have here is the item number 6, which is the Community Library Network financial statements. I'll make one quick comment or two. I was going through the guidelines that were provided to the board. And there was guidelines from the Government Accounting Standards Board, and I think we changed our income statement from an income statement to a budget versus actual, and then now it's a budget to actual. So I'm not sure the exact wording on that. It's very close, but it'd be a semantics issue. And let's see, yeah, and then the other item I had was the identifies a report versus a budget versus an actual. So in any case, I don't know if this is supposed to be the budget versus actual, or is it the budget to actual? Which one is it? Versus, okay, we'll have to change that back again, okay. All right, who else has discussion, comments, questions regarding the budget? Trustee Robinson.
So on 440, on the explanation sheet, income donations. I'm not sure what normal year donations means.
Okay, without objection, I guess, okay with the, doesn't matter,
Nope.
okay, or director.
Well, I think the normal is just referring to that as the projected normal year end that we expect. The money that's in there is, the large amount is from that donation, I think came after the fiscal year. I think we talked about the head of that's one of the trusts. So, but we are on course to have normal year end projections of those donations.
Robinson.
Yeah, because I have a few. Should I just like keep going?
Aye.
So, we're like on some of the numbers where it says like on budget, under budget, over budget, which is something that would kind of be in your now normal year end or normal something. That's just another new verbiage.
Okay, yes, that's exactly right. We're trying to keep it simple, but also if there's anything that needs to be addressed, then I will actually spell it out, or if there's any questions, I can
Okay.
explain, but yeah.
Okay, and now 490, the income miscellaneous petty cash received due to this discontinuation. Are we not having petty cash anymore, or?
No, we're moving away from petty cash at the branches in favor of a more structured purchasing procedure.
Okay. Does anybody else have a question? Because I don't remember exactly what I had questions on the other two about, so I'm gonna end right now and maybe come back if somebody else has questions.
Yeah,
On number 880, it says that we're over budget due to extra sales. Is the only thing we sell a library card? Is that how we're over?
No, that's gonna be copier. We don't.
Copier.
Yeah, stop.
Okay.
I'm not sure it's only copy. We don't, the majority of our fees are copied.
Copier.
Yeah, unless we have that other report from Unique that shows the cash value
Yes.
if we get, damaged or not overdue, not overdue fine, but damage on the place, but the bulk of it's copied.
Trustee Watson.
So I want to jump to the balance sheet, which is now called statement of net position. Get the 148 property tax receivable. I just continue to not get an answer on this, but I respectfully request the director to move this line item to a footnote. It's just a reference. It's no more realistic that this money's coming in the next month than next year's property tax. It's money that the tax audit or the accounting audit identified as money that the county owes us. This is money that the county doesn't have. They're not about to pay it. It's not a check in the mail, which is what property tax receivable would be. It would be like accounts receivable. But they sent the payment. This is money that people didn't pay their property tax. And I don't know if they get it back in the next 5 years or a little bit comes in throughout, but I think it should be a footnote. It should not be considered an asset. And I've asked over and over, and the only answer I ever get is this footnote down here about, it's a number that's given by anyway, a number give, 448. It's money that is assessed property value minus receipts collected. Auditor makes adjustment, and it just stays there all year. I do not think it should be listed as a current asset, but just please put it as a footnote. It's not money we have any more than next year's property tax. And I'll make a motion to do this if other people don't support me, but that's what I would like to do.
Trustee Anderson.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that it would take a majority of the board to vote for that.
Is there, further comment, Director?
Yeah, so obviously we've been trying to unpack this since I've come here, which is fine. Part of the package today actually kind of delved into this. I see the point where if, and I've always sort of seen this way, that if the number is not changing throughout the year and we're putting it on the sheet for you to look at, it doesn't make sense. But what actually should happen, and you should be aware of, is what we're showing you on these other colored pages. We actually do receive money against that amount. And so on the sheet we handed out, you'll see that 2,286.51 was actually 2022 taxes. 1,230.75 was 23 taxes, and so forth and so on. And so I think moving forward, rather than making a footnote, let's give it a shot where we can actually see it where it is, and it actually does get reduced based on how we receive it, because we are receiving it. It hasn't been well explained, I guess, over the last little while, so that maybe caused the confusion. But we do receive the property tax from previous years. It is receivable to get it, and we just need to show it to you better, which we intend to do. So I would suggest not making it a footnote, because it's a legitimate receivable amount, and we just need to show you that we are receiving it and it's being deducted throughout the year. So I think we can do a better job presenting it to you. So I would probably hold off on footnoting it.
Okay, I have a comment once too. When we went back and looking at the government accounting standards board guidance that was provided to us, it does list accounts receivable as there are things that are classified as current assets because the current balance is expected from the debtor within a year or less. That was what was provided to us. I did read it. You can look at it. Is that, are we taking basically, are we stretching that beyond a single year and going back several years worth of overdue taxes, we'll call it? That was my understanding reading through what we call accounts receivable, even though I had a pretty good understanding what that was. And that is written up as saying something is still due in house within the next year. And obviously some of these are several years behind, but I'm not trying to split hairs on that, but if that's the correct interpretation of the accounts receivable or income for taxes. Trustee Potts?
So my biggest issue is this is called current. What's it called? Current assets, and it absolutely violates the definition any accountant would have. Current assets are checked, it's in the mail, you've already delivered the service, and you've sent the bill. It's money that should be paid in the next month. That's a current asset. Now, is it an asset? That's another question, but I don't know why it's being listed as a current asset any more than 5.8 million that we've got in the budget for property tax that, line 400. We're supposed to be getting $5.3 million. Why, and that's in the next year. Why don't we list that as a current asset here? Well, we don't because county hasn't collected it yet. This is no different. I mean, it's even less likely we're gonna get this than the 5.3 million. So it's, in a couple $1,000s, but I don't think we should be taking credit, and I think it's messed up the balance sheets by having $300,000 as a current asset. That's like money in the bank. It's not, it's absolutely not money in the bank. It might be an asset by some definition, but no more than the 5.3 million. So I'm asking for it to get moved out of current asset. I don't know what the accountant wants to do for being creative, but it should not be a current asset.
Trustee Robinson?
Well, I disagree with the trustee. I think we absolutely are gonna get this money eventually, because anytime there's a house or a household that hasn't paid their taxes, it comes around eventually, whether it's sold, whether it's foreclosed, then the county gets that money, period. I can't think of a way that they wouldn't eventually get the money. And I agree, maybe we could hear from the business manager if she thinks it should be somewhere else. I'm perfectly fine with where it is, especially since we have an understanding of what it is.
I was gonna ask the director, is this one of those things you just said we unpacked over time? We still working on that, or, like?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always potential for us to unpack it. I mean, to go back to the current versus, I think we're gonna hang on the current, like 242 is a similar thing. It's the deferred property tax not paid within 60 days of the end of the fiscal year. So you could argue that's more current, because that's actually a set time. If it doesn't get paid in that time, then it gets bumped, basically it ends up being 148, right? They're both the same thing. There's taxes that haven't been paid by that point in the fiscal year, and one is gonna be changed after 60 days into 148. I'm trying to just express to you that I agree, like in the past, that number just stayed the same and there was no explanation, and I can understand the confusion. I think moving forward, and like Trustee Robinson, I said, like, if you look at the 2024, we've actually received about 30,000, or we've received money in this trajectory. You're gonna have $104,000 received at that rate. If we continue to get 12,000 in October, 9,000 and 4,000 in December, if we keep getting those kind of numbers, we will get that money back for 24, right? You see 23's numbers are smaller, 22's are a bit better than 23. So anyway, yeah, I don't think it should be a footnote. I think we can still work on whether we call it current or somewhere else on the asset, sheet, but we do expect to get it. And then we're gonna be able to track it better for you now so that you can see as we do get it.
I'll ask, is this in keeping with the, generally accepted accounting standards, or following what do we call these new? With the ones that the business managers provide? If this is consistent and correct, then I don't wanna think semantics to death.
Does it say current? Does it show current assets to be placed? There's the word current, not account receivable.
Understanding of accounts receivable, that was the guidance.
But it's current is what they listed.
I mean, I'm just, I've heard enough about this now, that today, a little bit different than what I've heard so far, so we'll keep working on it. Obviously, I have a very strong finance, a business manager now who, and then props to The other one for the years of, for the year of trying to unpack it. So we've been working on unpacking this since I've been here. I'm sure we can arrive at a solution where everyone will be happy with it. Because to me, it's about transparency and giving you the information, so that it's not confusing. So, but again, I think we've heard enough of what the will of the board, to move forward with looking at it.
Yeah, I think, no, I'm looking at it as I think it is transparent that it is. There are tax revenues coming in, trickling in. As these things are paid or as houses are sold off or whatever goes on. So I feel comfortable with the way it's currently set up personally. So trustee, I'm sorry, director.
Well, I just want to say that this is a 5-minute agenda item usually, and I think this topic we can bring back, make it an agenda item of its own, and maybe flesh it out and explain it more. We put it in here because we're just trying to give you the info. It is only a 5-minute agenda item, but I think if we want to pull up specific financial topics, we can look at that.
Would that be acceptable for trustee Plus regarding this item?
I can put it off, but
I know it's been
I'm just
addressed
asking.
many times. I know that.
I'm just asking, if we are getting money every month, then let's update the number and let's show the part that's being paid as current. Because that's what's being, the checks in the mail. And then have the other be other long-term assets or something. But it should be changing every month if we're getting money coming in.
Yeah, I would expect it to change as well. Trustee Robinson.
Can we get a consensus and move on?
Is it, are you upset? Are you okay with,
Consensus doesn't mean one person has to be okay.
Understood, but, I'm asking if the trustee.
I brought it up and it's okay with me to move on.
And
I just wanted to address instead of the same.
and we're gonna go in more detail if we want with, regard to the offer made by the director. But, okay. All right, any other discussions regarding financial reports for the period ending December 31st, I believe it is? No, hearing none, entertain a motion to accept financial reports.
I move that we accept financial reports.
It's been moved to accept the financial reports for the period ending December 31st, 2025. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. The financial reports are hereby approved. And it's on to next item on the agenda. Let's see here, financial reports, technical services. There we go. We're having a report today from technical services by Carrie Wilson. I did a minor piece of homework beforehand. I looked at your job description, so I want to see if your description is correct. No, I'm not going to test you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me. I am Carrie Wilson. I am the Technical Services Manager for CLN. I'm here today to show you a brief overview and introduction to the Technical Services Department and what we do to support our CLN branches. So what is Technical Services? So Technical Services is a behind-the-scenes department that has a dedicated centralized team of 6 staff.
Is that microphone on, if you don't mind?
It is.
Okay. Yeah, bring it a little closer if you don't mind. Thank you.
So we are a centralized team of 6 staff that perform a variety of activities and services to support our libraries. We receive the materials that are ordered by Collection Development and are responsible for the cataloging, processing, and maintenance of those materials. We also provide centralized supplies, support for our catalog system, courier between all of our libraries, and we handle a portion of our interlibrary loan or ILL service. To start, I just wanted to share a quick flow chart of kind of the material as it works through our department. So materials are ordered by Collection Development, and then they move into the cataloging process. They're received by Tech Services. Then we process them, we check them and send them out for circulation, and then we maintain that collection as well. So we mend, we route, we discard, we replace. Anything that the collection needs is generally handled in Technical Services. I wanted to share a little bit more about each of those duties. Starting with cataloging, we enter the item information into our catalog so that the items are searchable and available for our patrons to locate, check out, and place on hold. We catalog a variety of formats such as hardcovers and paperback books, DVDs, playaways, books on CD, kits, and any other items that circulate out to our patrons. We average around 1,600 items added per month. Our next process is processing and maintenance. Once the items are cataloged and visible in the catalog, we process those items and receive to make them ready to check out. Processing includes adding the barcodes, the library labels, spine labels, genre stickers, and covering them to make them identifiable as CLN materials, and then they are ready to check out to our patrons. We also maintain those materials to keep them circulating in good condition for as long as possible. So we clean discs, we mend books, we repair, that kind of thing as well. We also transfer items between all of our different libraries so that we're getting the best circulation at each location, and we remove materials as needed. So generally, we care for the collection from their addition to their eventual discard. Besides collection materials, our libraries need a lot of miscellaneous supplies to help them run efficiently and provide service to our patrons. Technical services also acts as our central supply hub for each of our libraries. We provide everything from printer paper to toners to Kleenex and tape. We centrally purchase and then courier those items out to our libraries as requested. Technical services was also involved in helping support our Cohawk catalog. We help with system settings, troubleshooting issues, running reports, training, and database maintenance. Technical services also oversees the running of our internal courier service. Our courier runs daily Monday through Friday and moves materials and supplies between all of our libraries on a set schedule. There are a lot of bins, boxes, and bags that go back and forth between all of us. It depends on the exact day, but our courier runs between 150 and 200 miles each day. Technical services, along with collection development, also handles our interlibrary loan process. We participate in a nationwide system that allows libraries to share their collections with each other. Collection development handles the borrowing side and determines whether an item is purchased or borrowed. But once those borrowed items arrive at CLN for our patrons, technical services handles all of the processing to make them ready to check out. And we also return all of those items to their home libraries, wherever they are in the country. Technical services also handles the lending component. So libraries that request materials from us, we also send out across the country so that their patrons can enjoy our collection as well. And that is just a very quick, brief overview of technical services. Did you have any questions today?
Oh, I'll have one, pull my microphone back on again. One of the items I saw on the job description was suggest purchases to the collection development manager. I think before you were wearing two hats, before you were the collections manager and you were technical services, now you're technical services. Is there a lot of input or interaction with regard to what's being purchased coming from your office, let's say, over to the collection development manager?
Right now, my role is more as we are replacing things. So as we're going through the collection, as things get discarded, if it's something that we think might need to be replaced, then I send those on to the collection manager to consider adding again to the system.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Robinson.
I think you said the courier drives 150 to 200 miles a day. Do you know what it was when we were with CIN?
I don't, because then it was a different courier that did other libraries as well. But I would imagine our libraries maintain that same mileage.
Trustee Lawson.
Carrie, thank you for explaining that. I frankly, I saw technical services. I didn't read the description here, but I would have thought this is more IT or something like that.
Yeah.
Or the computers or something. I would propose the name of it.
I know, it
The
does
department
get
to change to materials handling department. That's
Yeah,
why.
it does get confusing.
Materials handling is what you mean. Anyway, I have two questions. One is, you get interlibrary loan request in, or is your department the one that checks that these books adhere to our material selection policy? Or is this someone else that oversees
Yeah,
that?
that's the collection development part now. So the collection manager will look at the request to see if it's something that we should purchase or borrow, and she submits the borrowing request, so she is reviewing those
Okay.
before they go. Yep,
Okay, but no one sees the book until you get it, or your department gets it.
yes, correct.
And then the other is you discard books. Who makes the decisions on books to discard, and do you discard children classics just because no one's using them or because the binding's worn?
Well, we do discard based on condition, so absolutely, things would get discarded if they're not in a good condition, but then that's where we would replace them. So a lot of items, we have to discard the current edition that we have, but we absolutely replace those with new ones.
Okay. Thank you.
One other question, the admin building, right now, I believe you can, or the staff can bring a vehicle in at the Hayden Library and inside the facility itself. Will that be possible at the new headquarters, admin building when that gets
No,
moved in?
we do currently have a garage at Hayden that the van can pull into. At the district office, we do not have that capability.
Okay, just, there are gonna be days where it's not gonna be very nice outside. It hasn't snowed much this year, but it will eventually.
That is stuff we're talking with the director and assistant director about, and how we give it some coverage and what that flow will look
Yeah,
like.
because I know there's a carport of sorts, but, okay. Anyone else have any questions? No, well, thank you, Carrie, for the
Thank you.
presentation. Appreciate the time.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And next up we have is agenda number 8, the director's report.
First, I'd like to thank Carrie. I would strongly object to changing technical services. When I first, before I even moved on to anything else, straight out of high school, my first thing was a library diploma in the technical services side. So, what they call library tech diploma. So before I went on to do the other stuff. So, I can't stress enough how, the thing that makes libraries different from anything else is the technical services side, is collection, cataloging and classification. Right? I mean, cataloging and classification is libraries, right? So, I'm very grateful to Carrie. I'm glad we were able to separate out the two departments because it's too much for one person. Yeah, technical services is the heartbeat of library. So I might refer a little bit back to that later, but I just want to thank Carrie. And this report will be relatively brief just because a lot of the stuff I've been working on this month actually comes up later in the agenda. I will just, so on a little pamphlet that you get, so obviously we see search staff, obviously last time there was a mistake and this time it's more accurate or it's correct. So you see a little bit of an increase in search, you see a little bit of downtrend in overall digital downloads, but overall total we see up. And again, this is coming out of the disillusion, so as we build more data, we'll be able to look at, to go back and look at last year wouldn't make sense, because it wouldn't be the same apples and oranges kind of thing, so there's that. The cardholder statistics, that's also there for you to look at. I just want to highlight a few things which aren't on there. We can see about whether we put that kind of stuff in there, but because what's not distinguished on there is the minor, how many are selecting the minor general and how many are selecting the minor limited. So I'll just give you the December numbers, but the minor 8,329 are the minor general, 1,074 the minor limited, and then and that's current. And then the new card holders in the month of December, 54 chose general, 13 chose limited. And we see similar things, like it's not broken down here, but then for the non-residents, the non-resident minor family limited, there were 6 that chose that. And 37 that chose the general. So if that's something you're interested in, I can break it down more. As it's hard to fit everything on a page, but I can talk with communications to see whether we want to add that additional kind of breakdown. The general part's there, but just that who's choosing limited and who's choosing general is not there. So just wanted to add that. Branch highlights there, bathroom. We hired a new adult programmer, and in bathrooms, obviously it's getting a bit too small for us. But the adult program didn't have an office, and so we've expanded the area where the youth program had an office. So now there'll be a double office share, just kind of like in Post Fall, the two programmers share an office. And so we put an office up there for them. later when we talk about the strategic plan, you'll see that Rathdrum is definitely on our radar as far as what the future of that branch should look like as far as expansion or relocation. But in the short term, we're trying to make sure we make the best use of the square footage that we have there. So thanks to the facilities department for that. It was a very swift, simple but effective project. And then, just on the back of the program highlights. I do just want to put a plug in for programming. I know that we talk about classics and you know, the quality of the collection, and that's great. But you could put a quality collection on a shelf and, you know, like Trustee Pot said, like, if it doesn't circulate, what does that mean? So I just want to stress that the program department is also involved in this rebirth, this renaissance, right? Where the classics can come alive with the programming. So we have these, you know, the Readers Theaters, we did the Edgar Allan Poe one, the one coming up, I think, is Secret Garden, tied in with Going to Seed. So I just want to really, you know, show that it's all connected, right? And what the program department can do brings that collection to life, and the stronger collection, you know, can lead to, you know, stronger programming. So I just want to say that. And then my updates are brief, because the strategic plan has been the biggest thing over the last month. But the district office, some interior demolitions occurred. Interior renovation plans are with city planning department. Now there are some, so there's an exhibit B, which wasn't in the lease. It was a blank page. So we're gonna be getting exhibit B, and exhibit B is just the drawings, and there's just some final touches on where doors go and stuff like that. So we should have exhibit B next week. The various CLN departments have gone down there. So Carrie's department was down there. Mark, IT, given the tech. Technical services is library work, information technology, IT is what we call IT, so. I think there's even a show about IT guys or something, so IT is IT, technical services is a library term for all that. So anyway, so IT's been down there, so a variety of departments have been down to look at the facility, because they were really crucial for their input into the flow of how things would work down there, so. As far as estimating occupancy, I mean, usually contractors are a little bit optimistic. I'd be surprised if we're in there before April. And by then I just mean like we'll have the keys to go in, but we'll have to phase it. The offices here will be the easier ones to move down there. Paid offices, technical services, program department, that's much bigger. Chances are, so even if we did get occupancy in April, it doesn't mean we're all moving down there right away. So there'll be a little bit of a process, but okay, the only other update I have is about collection development, so I'll just take your turn first. All right, so I'll do this one more time. I don't think I'm gonna say anything here which I haven't already said. I probably said it months ago, if not last year. But anyway, so this is in relation to these books under review and stuff. Anyway, I met with the collection development manager to, in order to accelerate the internal review of the 140 items. And so, tomorrow I'll be meeting with the librarians of the CLN to discuss this project. And I hope to be able to report to the board that it's completed, maybe next meeting, maybe the meeting after that. So, but just to clear up things, when I say librarian, I mean librarian. There's 66 employees at CLN, there are 11 librarians. So when people talk about supporting librarian has an MLS, there's 11 of them at the CLN, just so we're all clear, right? So I'm going to enlist the aid of the librarians to accelerate this process. But I do want to make clear, yeah, that this is an internal review process, and so there is no timeline. This isn't the 16 items that fall under a different timeline. And I think Carrie's gone now, but those 16 items are in technical services, and they should be processed and recatalogued to go to the mature content collection, right? That's where they are. The 140 items out of my office, I said collection development office, as we have to internally review those. So it's an internal review. There's no time bounds on it. It's just, it's what we do, right? Sorry, I should just stick to my script. It's a perfectly normal professional library activity. As such, there is no and never has been a timeline for this project. There are not, and these have never been challenged items. These 140 items are not challenged items. No one challenged them. right? It's an internal review. We are simply analyzing our collection in light of a state law that applies to us. We began with 140 items based on bibliographic records, so we do. We will continue with others. It's our professional responsibility. It's more I'll meet with librarians. But as noted from the beginning, these items have always been available to the patron. There was a glitch, which I told everybody about. There was a glitch when CIN dissolved and the technical services department, which fortunately tonight you got a sense of what they do, 1,600 items a month. They have other things to do. And so there was a change in the status, which affected how these items appear in the islands. As soon as I found out about the glitch, we flipped it back, they're available. So they've always been available, and I just wanna, yeah, they've always been available. I'm a little bit tired of hearing banning and censorship and suppression, right? Because there's 4 million books at New York Public Library in a closed stack system, right? Browsability is not the only library option for access, right? It's not just about browsability. If an item is available, this is 2025, if an item is available through an ILS system, the person puts a hold on it, right, and it gets delivered to them, which you'll see in the strategic plan, it's a lot about delivery, lockers here, delivering items to people, known entities. That is actually the bulk of library practice and access, right? Browsability is a different thing. Browsability is the ability to go around and find it on the shelf. Totally different thing. So lack of browsability can't be construed as suppression, censorship, banning. Otherwise, 4 million items in New York Public have been censored and banned because it's a closed stack system, right? It's been forever. Their local branches are. I'm not saying we're going to close stack, but I'm just trying to show that closed stacks is not the equivalent of some of these other buzzwords that people get thrown around. There's nothing of that kind happening here. This is just normal library. We are being proactive about the law. We're going to evaluate all our books. We do it based on bibliographic records. So when I thought this is a cookbook, I don't need to pull 140 cookbooks in to see if they break the law, right? I'm looking at bibliographic records that came out once before, MARC records, machine access readable cataloging, right? So these are bibliographic records with our subject headings, with our notes, with our subject of publication, and we use that to decide how we're going to assess our collection. So I just want to reassure the board once again that the 140 items, which had no timeline, were not challenged, an internal review. I am going to try and accelerate that for the benefit of everyone, so that they do get back on the shelves. So they'll be back on the shelf. They've still been available, but they will get back on the shelf. And as far as the other 16, I will speak with tech services tomorrow or on Monday, on Tuesday, and just find out how, where they are in their process, right? They deal with 1,600 books a month, so I don't know where these 16 items are as far as maybe they still need a few labels or whatever, and then they'll be moved on to the shelves too. So that's what I have prepared, regardless of any other things that happened so far this evening or afternoon, but I think that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Director. Just one question. What was the draft from little renovation going on? Is that completed or is that in process? We have no idea when it's.
It's completed.
Okay.
Yeah, it was there was an office and then an alcove, and we closed the wall off to make that office bigger.
Okay.
And it was in the kids section, so the alcove was like a little seating area for the kids, so we moved that to the other end. I mean, there's a lot of room, there's a little bit of room around, I should say, to move stacks around. Stacks are the double-sided shelf that hold the book. So if we move stacks over, yeah, I mean, no matter what, anytime we make changes at Rathdrum, we're always getting tighter and tighter, but yeah, basically it was just a wall, internal wall and your window, all internal, so.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Plus?
The one thing I noticed, and maybe you said something, but, on your charts, I would prefer a y-axis or instead of the numbers buried down here at the bottom, the number just be written on the top of the bar so that it's easy to see what I have back and forth, but maybe it's hard to do. I don't know. But anyway, I did figure out the numbers at the bottom. It's not like looking for it. And then I just wanted to make a comment that what your department is doing with these 140 books of review is exactly what the board has put into the policy we don't wait for a client to find a book. It's in the policy that the staff is supposed to find or look for these books. If they find them, they need to move them. And that's exactly what you're doing. I consider the 140 books under internal review to be totally in compliance with the policy, and I appreciate that this has been done. We didn't have to wait for somebody to find them.
Trustees,
Yeah, I just wanted to give kudos to the Spirit Lake adult programming, the class on the different cultures and nations, how they celebrate Christmas. That sounds really fascinating, and I'm bummed out that I missed it. Guess I need to read my monthly email from the library better.
thank you. Other commentary regarding the director's report? Questions? No, hearing none. Then move on to the next item on the agenda tonight. Or this afternoon. Next item is the request for relocation of materials. That's agenda number 9. I kind of wrote up a quick couple comments here before we proceed on that one. The CLN is in receipt of one patron request for relocation of materials form. The request for relocation of materials form was received prior to the December 18th Board of Directors meeting. Up until that date, all requests for relocation material submissions not being relocated to mature content collection by the director were required to be reviewed by the board. As approved by this board, all future relocation forms will be reviewed by the director and the patron notified of the director's decision. Only if the patron is not satisfied with the director's decision will the decision be appealed to the board. So our specific task today, the way I see it, regarding the current request for relocation materials action, is to determine if the material in question is harmful to minors as specifically defined by Idaho law. The board's decision to relocate material anywhere within the library other than a mature content collection rests with the director and is outside of the board's scope given the current policy. So the question I see at hand is to determine whether or not the book in question is seen by this board as material harmful to minors. Open for discussion if necessary. Trustee Glass.
Well, this is the 4th book of the same class that we had really last month. They're propaganda. They're not the definition of harmful to minors that's spelled out, but I want to remind the trustees that the law currently says, under the definition of harmful to minors, says harmful to minors includes in its meaning. And then it goes on to A, B, C, all the different sexual excitement, different things, but it includes. That means this definition they list there is a subset of what is harmful to minors. It is not everything that is harmful to minors. The definition itself says it includes this meaning. And then the new part of the law that was passed last year has Part C. It has its own definition. They go through and basically say the same thing, only a little bit different. But then they got Part C, any other material harmful to minors. And again, I contend these books, the 3 last month and this one, is harmful because they are propaganda that is trying to familiarize and bring acceptance of the gay lifestyle, some of this alternate lifestyle that Kootenai County doesn't want, and our community standards, which were upheld by the voting of electing of trustees, do not want this. These 4 moms that separately found these books consider them harmful to their minors. They don't want to see them. They don't want to have their children find them. I would like to again know who bought them, when they came into the library, who signed the purchase order. they are part of the definition, because it says any other material harmful to minors, and the definition that our legal counsel read last month is actually the part that is included in the meaning harmful to minors. So it's a subset of things that are harmful. So I consider these harmful to minors, and I would like them put in the adult only, which is what the law says, adult only access area. Relocate the materials to an area with adult access only. And that's the only place children can't go. The only place in the library. Just moving them to the adult is not keeping them away from children.
Other questions or comments regarding this? Trustee Robinson?
So we know that since we have it in front of us now, we know that the director told the person that brought this to his attention that it's not going to go into the mature collection. But do we know if the director plans to move it to a age level up? Or what exactly are we supposed to be deciding, if it stays where it is, or if it goes into the mature collection, or if it moves up to a different age, with the youth instead of the children's?
The current policy does not go into any other detail other than goes into the mature content collection because it's considered, what's the word I have here, inappropriate, no, harmful to minors, or it's not. We did not modify and add on anything extra to the policy. I would like to, I have edited my own personal one I want to propose eventually, not for today, but I would like to say that if an item is not harmful to minors, but it is inappropriate, going back and looking at our purchasing acquisition policy, I would like to say that I'm saying that's what I propose in the future, that the library director be directed to remove it from the children's collection. We don't tell them where to put it. We can say it doesn't go in our collection and with the minor collection, but it's not in there now. And it would certainly be something that I would suggest that we run past council when we actually get to that policy. But right now, that's not part of the policy. And so whether or not a book may be not aligned with community values or somebody's personal values would appear to me to be irrelevant at the moment. We are here looking at a form that was submitted by a patron. We're here to determine whether it's harmful to minors or not, going by Idaho statute law. And it's either a yes or a no. And if the answer is no, then it goes back to the director to respond to the patron and to put the material wherever he sees fit. That's the way I see it. Trustee Plus.
So I warn you again, do not consider bringing the term material inappropriate to minor into this policy about removal, because that's got a different definition. And we wanted to keep the removal aligned with the Idaho policy. You go suggest putting inappropriate, and you're mixing two policies up, and now we can't keep it straight. So I'm very much against that. All I'm saying is, yes, we need to vote the way the Idaho law says on whether this material is inappropriate, or now I'm saying it wrong, or is harmful to minors based on the Idaho law and our policy. And if it is, it has to go into the adult access only location according to the law, which in our library is the mature content collection. I wish it had a different name called adult access only, but I am contending that this material does fit into the Idaho law, because the Idaho law says this definition they wrote is included in what is harmful to minors. So there's room And the new law gives us this, item C, any other material harmful to minors. There's room in the law for us to exercise that, and I ask that this get moved out of a place where any children can ever find it, which is the mature content collection.
Other questions or comments regarding this item? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to, let's see, classify this book as material not harmful to minors.
Is this a motion thing or we just?
Yeah, well, I think we should make a motion, yes or no on that, so I think I need somebody to entertain a motion to identify and say whether or not you consider this item to be harmful to minors, yes or no.
I move that we designate this particular book as material harmful to minors.
Okay, it has been moved that we designate this book as harmful to minors. I guess since that is a motion, I guess there's
Yeah,
still
that's a
some
motion.
location, then I assume this trustee Robinson.
Do we need to put the title of the book in the motion?
I don't know if we need to, we can,
Or maybe the date, obviously the date of the meeting.
Yeah.
Of the-
that is single, okay.
Yes, I don't know. I'm bad with motions anyway, but I'm just
We
wondering.
didn't put it in the last one.
I don't know.
I didn't put one in the last, well, no, we had 3 last time, we didn't put any names in it. We can if you need to. All right, other discussion? Okay, it's been moved that the book in question will be designated as harmful to minors. So all those in favor, seeing it as harmful to minors, say, yeah, aye.
Aye.
Okay, aye. All those opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Nay. Okay, the nays have it. I'm sorry. Yeah, nays have it. It's the reverse only here. And it's material. Only 2, I'm sorry. Was there someone else?
I only heard 2 saying that.
I'm a nay.
Okay.
Okay. So this book has been seen, the book is considered and classified as not harmful to minors. And we'll find the next item on the agenda.
Sure.
Yes,
Sure.
please.
If one trustee didn't hear everybody's response, did everybody respond? I just want to make sure that the note taker gets everybody's response.
I think everyone answered to,
Okay.
it's not harmful to minors with the exception of trustee Clark.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda is the vaccine contract discussion, item number 10 on the agenda. I don't see any immediate question. I'll ask a question. Are we locked into, I think this is a 5-year I think it was a 5-year contract. Isn't it? When it comes to the pricing on this, is this looked at like individual year, let's say year 1, or is it what the cost would be for the library for the duration? So if there are setup costs and so forth, if we took a different company, were those taken into consideration, meaning not over 1 year, but over the duration of this contract, you know?
Oh, some of the people at the table, I probably was the least involved in a lot of this setup. This is part of the E-Babes contract. So it went to RFP. So in that sense, it was all a level playing field between the ones that we chose, the one that we chose. I believe it's a 1-year contract with renewability, so I think it's set at that price.
12 months.
Yeah,
Okay.
5 consecutive renewals. Just so that we know at the outset, this went to legal. Legal mentioned, and I talked about it a little bit, but legal will probably have to chime in on the notes because I never got them directly from them other than conversation we had. So, I think some of that has to do with the renewal limits and time. So I might have to kick it over. You know.
Section 10 provides that the fat bean company reserves the right to increase the MRC annually by a percentage equal to the consumer price index as published by the U.S. Bureau of Labor. And it's a 1-year contract with 5 automatic renewals, and then an additional optional 5 one-year renewals.
What impact if we didn't say no, it continues, but otherwise we would have it.
And
Okay,
then the library would have an option to renew for 5 additional years after that. There was a question provided to me whether the USAC stance on what they call long-term contracts that violate competitive bidding laws has indicated that in training provided to our representative, they had stated 7 to 8 years are okay, but terms beyond that could run into competitive bidding violations. I reviewed 47 CFR 54.507E and other regulations provided by the FCC and the USAC, and I didn't note any explicit prohibition on the length of a contract. Likewise, I reviewed the Idaho State procurement statutes and 59-1026, which has a willful avoidance of procurement requirements. And what that means is if we do a 1-year contract and we know it's going to be less than $100,000, it's excluded under the political subdivision procurement contracts. But let's say it's $90,000 and we're going to have a renewal. Well, that would trigger the RFP process because you can't avoid, it ratchets up. So you can't avoid an RFP that would apply for the 2 years by saying, oh, we're going to be tricky and do 1 year plus 1. Right. So it's the potential length of the contract. And that was one question that I had related to the total cost, because at the time we had estimates, so I couldn't run a hard calculation. And what the law would require is us to calculate the total cost of the entire contract adjusted by the CPI at the maximum rate for the whole 11 years. And as long as that number is in between 100 and 250,000, and we did that RFP process under subsection 1 and not over $250,000, we would have been required to use that RFP process. So that would be something that we want to confirm before I would approve it. And staff should easily be able to do that. The other issue is that there needs to be a clerk's signature added because the clerk needs to witness these. There needs to be a 67-23-46 no Israel boycott certification added as required by statute if it's over $100,000 or more than 10 employees. And also certification that it won't be owned or operated by China for the duration of the contract pursuant to 67-23-59. And then our typical amendment on the indemnification provision. There's no waiver of subrogation in this contract, but there is an indemnification provision that violates the Idaho Constitution and Idaho statutes. And I have boilerplate language I would just insert in that the board has seen before. And with those changes, I would be ready to approve it and proceed, should that be the board's will.
thank you. Trustee Plus.
2 questions. One is, does the current contract expire this month and we're under, this was due, the invoice is due 12/1/25, or was it already late? Anyway, if we took another month, what's the consequences? And then the second question is, I had asked, talked with the director, and I think I've talked to other, the former business manager, but why aren't we asking in our competitive bid for somebody to provide us public internet with virtual private network, VPN? I know there's going to be a server that you have to buy, but this is what companies do. They don't lease fiber from one building to another. They just use public internet and use VPN. And I know we're getting reimbursed by the government for this, but I would like to see a competitive bid on using public internet. And I don't know that we need 1G. This is what they're offering. Whatever the requirement is, if we need 100 megabits, but public internet with providing a VPN server and VPN network. And I think you'd be far less than this amount here, and you'd still get it paid for by the government. But do we have time to go ask for that still?
I got out of high school, my first diploma was in technical services, not IT. So so I talked to my IT guy, because I know you asked me these questions. And I think there's a little bit of misunderstanding. I don't think the technical term would be, and I may be wrong, that we're leasing dedicated fiber lines. Like, we are using the same lines that the general populace uses. Those are the only lines that are there. It's more a question of, I think, guaranteeing a certain upload and download, bandwidth or whatever, right? So if we really want to get into the weeds as to what we're doing here, that would probably require my IT guy to explain it. My understanding is that we're not leasing dedicated fiber lines just CLN has its own fiber line going from here to there. Right?
No.
We're piggybacking on, or we're in business class on the same plane as regular folks on the same plane, but we guaranteed a 5 gig or 1 gig, we're guaranteed the flow of data in this kind of contract. So, and then when I asked about VPN, my IT guy looked kind of funny at me, because he doesn't think that's how it works, that maybe it's a little bit old school. But we have VPN, if one of our staff needs to work at home and access the WAN, WAN, then we can do VPN to get to the WAN. But it's a wide area network on a fiber trunk that everyone else is using, but so that's the ins and outs of how this works. Very rudimentary, because, it's not my thing. But then to answer the other question, I think E-Rate, the E-Rate consultant, the Claire, who's probably, my name's probably on here somewhere, wanted it on this January meeting, but I think we gave ourselves a little room that it could be on the February meeting for the final thing. So obviously, council needs to, we need to have a different document here with those changes made. So I think I can say safely that the E-Rate consultant who works with us on the RFP and everything will be okay with a signature happening at the February meeting. Which is why I wanted this meeting, so that we can make sure we get it for the next one. So I don't think we don't want to go much past that, because we want to, and to answer the other question, I think the renewal is the middle of the summer.
I thought it was July.
Yeah, I think that it kicks in at that time, so we're good until then. This is just the RFP person saying, hey, we need to get our ducks in a row now in order to hit that. So, I think we have time, but we have time basically to address the legal side. I'm not sure this is the forum for you to be satisfied about the ins and outs of fiber lines, but I'd be happy to, figure that out and get more to you about that. So just want to keep us focused on what we're trying to accomplish here, so.
Trustee, let Trustee Plass first.
I just
I
wanted to
didn't see you,
answer.
sorry. I'll get you.
I raised my hand with him
This,
last time,
I missed
actually.
this is exhibit C on, I don't know if this is, how pages are numbered, but it's in the, closer to the back, dark fiber lease. What dark fiber is some innovative fiber company puts in, digs a trench and puts in a big bundle or several big bundles. They got 250 fibers in them, and they've got enough to go from here to Pinehurst or from someplace to Pinehurst, and they connect them, but there's a bunch of unused fibers in there. Fat Beam, I believe, owns these dark fiber. That's why this dark fiber lease is there. And it's already in the ground, it's already there. They're lighting it up with our service. So it goes from a dark fiber to a used fiber, and we're paying for that fiber that got put in. And I'm saying, I don't think we need to go that route. But Fat Beam is in the business of selling, their fiber lines. They've got a lot of dark fiber. They like to get them lit up. And I don't know that this is necessary to go this way, to have dark fiber lit up between each one. So I would like to meet with the IT manager, maybe take this next month and try to learn more about it, and if there's another option.
Trustee
That's
Robinson.
what I prefer.
Trustee Robinson.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes, welcome.
I would like if the IT specialist could come in and address the entire board. Unfortunately, but yeah, I will be here next month. That'd be awesome if he could come in and address the board instead of just a trustee going to him, then coming back with hearsay. And then I have another question, but time is running on and I'm gonna ask it after the meeting because it would be perfectly legal for me to do that.
Trustee Allison.
Okay, so you said was another bid or other bids. I'm just wondering what the price comparison is and if they were comparable services.
There were, there was an RFP, there were three, I think one was disqualified, that being two. And the two were very close, we have a grid, which shows what I might suggest is that if we're gonna bring our IT guy in, that we can reach out to the E-rate person as well, because this ties in completely with E-rate. Even E-rate is kind of, in some senses, will dictate what we can and can't do, because to get the funding, you have to have certain things. So I have no idea what the other options are, but there could be an option which E-rate would say, well, you can't do that option in order to get this, right? So I think I can reach out to the E-rate consultant, and maybe they are also able to shed some light on this, because I think you can't think of one without the other. This RFP is because of E-rate, the decisions because of E-rate, this whole structure is based on the fact that 75% is paid for by the government and the other part's picked up by the state, right? So, we can look for better numbers, but not if now we're paying 100% of it versus these numbers and we're paying, so.
Look at it.
So I think I can put that into the works and see if we can get both of those people or experts on next agenda.
Yeah, I know this was an issue for trustee Plus for at least a year or two. It just concerns as a whole. I didn't know when I'm not up to speed anymore on contracts. So RFP, I guess, is just a request for proposal. That's not an actual bidding process, I guess. It's not at that stage yet. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is a bidding process, yeah. Yeah, we set up what the parameters of it are, and they have to follow those.
So we've already done that.
Yeah, this is the result.
So if we already, I understand it. So if we put out a request for proposal and we had two people put in for it and we had a certain fixed, I assume, criteria for making a selection, do we even have an option then to be looking at other people? If we put something out officially, then I assume we're locked into
Yeah.
proceeding down that path. I don't know. Yeah. With the board's permission? Okay. And I'm sorry. Yes.
We are under a deadline because we have already gone through the RFP process. We've had 3 responses. One was ineligible, so that led us to 2. And then as a team, we reviewed the response and chose that being as the best one to move forward with. If we want to do a completely new RFP, we could do that, but that would mean our current provider, we would be paying market rates until we get to the point of having everything installed and ready to go with the new provider. And those would not be covered by E-rates. So we would be looking at a bigger out of cost once our current contract expires. So that's just something for the board to consider.
Was the E-rate like $40,000? I forget what it was. Years ago, I heard it. And it was a fairly juicy amount of money. Certainly an enticement.
And it's over $100,000.
Oh, here's that.
Yeah, because it's in the $100,000 to $250,000 range.
And so if we use a contractor other than what we're talking about now, we wouldn't be getting that rate. And are we already past then, I'll say a legal threshold where we went out and put an RFP out? I guess solicitations came in. I don't know. Are we in legal standing to say, oh, we changed our mind when these guys don't like us, and so we'll go with these other people here. We even had that flexibility at this point.
Yeah, 67-2806-1D states that when written bids have been received by either physical or electronic delivery, they shall be compiled and submitted to the governing board or governing board authorized official which shall approve the responsive bid proposing the lowest procurement price or reject all bids and publish notice for bids as before.
Where does that leave us?
Got time.
Trustee Allison?
So who was so it was Fat Beam and then the other one was
Zipley.
Sidley. Okay, because I was under the impression that they do E-rate.
They do.
Yeah, they did, yeah. Yeah, the disqualification didn't have to do with E-rate, yeah, different ineligibility.
Trustee Plus. Oh, sorry.
But isn't E-rate just a percent? So if you had a $50,000 bill, they would maybe pay 70 or 80%. So the number's gonna be smaller if the bill is smaller, but it isn't. Oh, you're not gonna get $100,000 because we were having $120,000, just everything scales down.
Well, I think it might have, you might have requirements of what the service is. Like,
There might.
the quality of yeah, it may require a certain level of service that other providers might not be able to meet. I mean, my only, I want to assure the board, we went through a thorough process to arrive at this. The one thing that we still needed to do was just have it go by council and tidy it up and then sign it. I think we could do that if I'm not sure if the whole having it explained to the board, like the ins and outs of the tech side matters all that much. Fair, if we want to know that. The more you know, the better, but I think there'd be a risk if we can't seal this up by February. So I don't want to come to the next meeting and not be able to have the board make the decision. And that's just my sense of having, listened in on the E-rate consultant. It's on this agenda because it would be great now, needs to be February at the latest.
Trustee Plus?
I just don't want the board to go down with tunnel vision saying this is the only thing that we've found in the past. And so it's the only thing that'll work and it's connected. So it's cheaper because it's already connected. Let's open it up and look, is there other options? Do we really need the 1 gig? And, I'd like somebody to look into that and be able to tell us this is the only thing that beats E-rate. I don't have to delve into that myself, but I'd like to open the blinders up a little bit and see if VPN with public internet work.
The two cleanest options are to confirm that the bid that's being proposed to the board is the responsive bid proposing the lowest procurement price, apples to apples. If it's not, then we are considering the wrong bid. If it is, then you either accept it or you issue a new RFP. But it starts to get a little more complicated if we want to start changing elements of the RFP, because then now we are essentially doing another RFP.
Mhm.
So that's not something I would recommend.
Is Trustee Plus okay with that? Pressing on with the line contract?
I've got questions and I don't think they've been answered, and I would like to take the time to find out what does E-rate really require? And if we have till February to answer this, I think we can look into it, or maybe you'll get an answer and you can let us all know and we can still sign.
It was first meeting on it. Trustee Robinson? Go ahead.
Okay, wait a minute now. So it kind of flew out of my head because there was 3 people wanting to talk. I would be fine waiting till February if we in fact for sure settled it then. And if the IT specialist could come in and explain certain things. I did have a question for the director or his team. When you put out the
RFP.
thank you. Did it specify the qualifiers that you were looking for that E-rate says that we have to have? And would like, for instance, you said there were 3 and one didn't qualify? Is it because they didn't qualify under what E-rate said they have to be?
Yeah, they didn't qualify because they didn't satisfy the requested method of submitting the RFP.
Okay.
So the RFP, yeah, I mean, it tells them what we want and then they have to follow the guidelines as to how to present it.
So a lesser, lack of better terms, company could have submitted, but may not have because they didn't have what it took to meet the criteria.
But my understanding is typically it has to be a qualified contractor for whatever the scope is that's being asked for, I think.
Right.
Trustee Hodgson.
I'd like to wait until February and get some answers.
I have a question. If we waited till February, that, I don't know, I'm assuming that trustee Plas would like to speak with the IT person, and IT person can tell us something, but if we did that, does that mean that we would have to then put a new RFP out on, potentially on the street? And then have to wait another, I don't know what it would take, 60 days, 90 days for responses? And then I believe admin to go ahead and sort through those and then make a recommendation, and then council to actually review the documents in order to prepare. Do we have that kind of timeline available for this?
Well,
Because I think this expires in July, but I don't know that.
I mean, as the assistant director said, like, the risk is that if we don't seal it up, then you're paying, we have a current contract to midsummer, right? We're gonna be paying that at a different rate, not E-rate covered, right? So there are considerable, financial implications if we don't seal this up. So my concern is basically, why are we not sealing this up? We did the RFP, it was thorough, it was done with an E-rate consultant, we got all the bids. And it's an RFP, so like, if there was a company out there that wanted a piece of this action, the two companies, Zipley and Fatbeam, these are not nobodies, right? I mean, so if there was a company out there, I guess that's the whole point of the RFP, that was saying, hey, why aren't they doing public with VPN? Then, so either that, and I don't know if it's possible, maybe you do, I don't, but if it's possible that we could be using a VPN public system, then that company out there, which obviously wants our contract, wants the money, would have looked at it and said, oh, I can't apply because I don't qualify. Right, or they would have. And I, like, again, I'm not an IT guy, but I try to be logical, so by the process of elimination, I think we should move forward, because we went through the process, right? We followed the consultant, we have the grid, the choice was made. I think legal has to chime in, they've done that, and so an explanation of the ins and outs of data and fiber and all that would be great for me too, and that's fine. We can do that. I'm not sure if it really speaks to the purpose of this activity.
Trustee Ross.
I guess it comes down to the question, how was the RFP broadcast or solicited? Was it a notice in the paper, or was it sent to 3 companies? We think you qualify, would you give us a quote? How would other companies even know that this was available for them to bid on? What was the process?
I believe it was put through the E-rate bid system that goes out far and wide. And it was not just sent to very specific companies, so anyone could have applied who met their criteria.
Well, okay, so like, I mean, with other RFP scenarios, in my experience, was that, yeah, there's a portal where all the companies know to go, right? Like, they know to go to this place to see what's the lead, hey, I need to get a job, right? So they look for these. So if it went to the E-rate RFP portal, then anyone who's interested in trying to get a contract is gonna go there and check it out. They're gonna look through all the different things. I can do that one, I can't do this one, I can do that one. So again, like I say, I'm satisfied that the team did everything we needed to do to get, do this right. I'm satisfied that legal's looked at it and he's made the suggestions, we had to fix those. I agree that as a librarian, that information and understanding is always a good thing. So it would be great for us to all know more about what it all means. But I'm not sure that's enough of a reason to forestall it, right? Because you can make the decision based on the assessment that it was done a certain way, it was done right, legal's looked at it, right? And then we move forward with it.
Mr. Bronson.
Any company that would be big enough to do this job would have a person or persons knowing how to find what's out there to bid on. If they don't, then it's a small company we would want anyway. I would be fine with voting on this today, but I'm also fine with actually voting on it in February. But I think we need to, maybe I should make a motion. I'll just make a motion.
You hear that?
I move that we approve the bat beam contract
Dated December
dated
December.
December 15th. Wait, where does it?
Yes, that's right. On the front, that's right. December 15, 2025.
December 15th, 2025. As amended by general counsel.
I haven't seen. It has been moved to approve the fat beam contract dated December 15, 2025, as amended by council. These as open still for further discussion. I'll throw my quick one on this is, I feel as if the staff, in combination with, I assume, our IT, made a qualified decision as to what we need to provide the IT services here, or the internet services. We launched that request out there to the public. It was entertained, it was an option, we got two bids, I understand in on that. And I kind of feel like it's a little late in the game, as much as they may not be any friend of ours out there, this company. The company played by the rules and put in a request or put in a proposal, and I kind of feel as if it's gonna be a little difficult to explain what are we changing in terms of the RFP now? What different thing are we asking for? Trustee Foss.
I would vote against this approving today and wait till February when we have more information. I feel that maybe the request wasn't done as broadly as it could have been. I don't know anything about the E-rate consultant. I don't know if they're, for some reason, they think it has to be fiber lines. I think this should be explored, and I don't know whether staff knew to look for something different than just fiber lines. That's really what it comes down to. If it's fiber lines, probably the best we can do. But if there's other, just public internet at a certain data rate, I think we should take a little more time and find out.
Speaking about it, and Addison.
So I don't doubt the capabilities of staff, but I just don't feel like I have enough information to affirmatively vote for this. So I would rather wait till February, even if it's a special meeting or whatever.
Question for staff, if we did wait, if we still have sufficient time to put together, if we had a modified or a new RFP put out there, is there still sufficient time to put one together, put it out on the street, receive responses, and then make decisions?
The issue isn't time, it's money,
Okay.
right? Because we'll have time all the way to the end of the contract if it's midsummer, but we'll be paying for it.
So when is it?
I think it's
the
July.
money's- Okay, so we're okay, pay. Plus,
Well, we don't, but I'm saying we haven't budgeted for that. E-rate is taking care of this, but it won't, right?
When does E-rates
yeah,
end and start again?
So it is. Oh,
I don't.
so we're good then.
Chair. And there's one other process too. I stated earlier that services provided under $100,000 don't require RFP. So you don't just have approve the lowest bid, assuming you faithfully follow the RFP procedures and you pick the lowest bid. You can reject the bid and you can not do an RFP and engage in a contract for less than $100,000. I haven't received information from Claire saying you couldn't, get a patch for a year or two at E-rate. So that's another option. I'm not advocating that we pass or don't pass. I just haven't heard that yet. You're asking for options. So you've got approve it, wait till February, approve it, or reject it, issue another RFP, or contract with anyone you want, less than $100,000 without an RFP, so long as it is guided by the best interests of the political subdivision procuring the goods and services as determined by the governing board.
I'm leaning toward putting it on hold for, because we don't have all the information. But, what would we be getting information wise? What would we be looking for in February? And I see a hand up, Director, please.
Well, I just want to ask, if I reach out to Claire and she says because what, it's gonna be February 15th, so it's gonna be mid-February. If she says she needs it to be different, we're okay with this, we calling a special meeting. I didn't want to lead you to believe it that, you know, the February 16th or 18th or whatever it is meeting, right? February 19th. I don't know if she's aware that it's the 19th of February. When she says February, she might mean February 1. So as long as putting that out there, it might not be the regular meeting in February. We might have to call a special meeting. And I just want you to be okay with that, aware of that ahead of time, so.
Won't be the first time we've had a special meeting, I know that much. Any other thoughts on this before we? All right, well, I believe there was a motion made to approve the fact being RFP, I believe is there, or the contract dated December 6th and December 15, 2025, as amended by the chair. All those, I guess,
Legal counsel,
pardon me?
it's amended by legal counsel.
As amended by council. Either way. Right? Okay, so I guess we'll go to those who, in favor of putting this off until this, February. All those in favor, say aye.
We have
Actually, we would vote on the motion.
The motion.
Well, the motion, I believe, was to
To
approve it.
now.
Yeah. Oh, I had to. No, just opposite.
Can I withdraw my motion? Because I'm fine with waiting till February. I just wanted to get this,
Certainly, I understand it. Yeah, okay.
resolved.
Your motion's been withdrawn. Thank you. All those in favor of putting this off until February decision. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Very good. It's been postponed until February.
We're special.
Right, and we're a special meeting and we'll need more factual information to make a decision. Trustee job description. We've been pushing this one off for probably 3 months. Because we wanted to find each month and, anyone wishes to open up on that one? Trustee Plus, I think you would want to actually, it should be on first.
Can I
want to ask for this? Yeah.
Can I ask for it and I
Yes.
will hand this out again of my proposed changes and I don't know if we want to go through them or if discuss them, but
Have you got these? Oh, we did get that one sometime.
I handed this out.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do it.
And I think, I'm just guessing, looking at this, that we are probably 15 minutes behind schedule already. So I think we should keep ourselves to a 10-minute maximum, which we will probably not gonna finish this, but we can get started on it. Unless we happen to think through the whole thing. Trustee Platts, please go ahead.
So I've got a numerous grammatical changes, proper nouns, get capital letters. So community library network district, that would be a capital D then if it's a specific district, but district library shouldn't get a capital D. It's not.
Okay, can I stop you? We're gonna look at the original one in comparison with the things you're proposing, so.
Okay, I'm just gonna
Oh, you said.
tell you, highlight of
Okay.
what I've done.
Yep.
So I've got a number of those. I corrected the district, the trustees serve 4-year instead of 6-year terms. The big items for me is in the middle of the page, under purpose statement. I'm proposing to delete the last sentence, trustees serve as advocates for intellectual freedom. That's American Library Association talk, and I don't want it in there. It gave me the hives when I read this. I want to beef up the examples of work instead of just creates policy. I suggested write and edit board policies. I suggested instead of just approves budget, reviews and modifies budget. Reviews and understands financial statements and physical positions of the library district is a new one. And then under knowledge and abilities, I got rid of, proposing to get rid of principles of intellectual freedom and access to information. Again, I got the hives, that's American Library Association speak. And it's more than just budgeting. So I added behind budgeting, accounting, and business principles. And then I also added down at the bottom, Robert's Rules of Order. So those are the main changes. We can go over them individually or.
Yeah, any suggestion on how you want to approach it? I'm open to ideas. Do we want to just look at what changes in paragraph 1 right now? What's the about this?
Well, as the chair mentioned, we're already 15 minutes behind, and that's with just one speaker of 3 minutes. When they have 30 minutes, so we're really like 45 minutes behind, technically.
No,
And
we
we
were,
just,
30 minutes behind,
We're just-
15 minutes behind.
but you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I would suggest we take this home with us and do our own little markings on it as we read it and address it in February.
Okay, there are ideas? Look, trustee, yeah, Iverson.
I think that we could probably get through one paragraph or, 10 minutes, whatever comes first.
I tend to agree. But we're still not gonna finish the project, I don't think, but I think if you can start. You won't be the first time we've been a little bit late. Do you have another thing before I change it? Okay.
Just, we agree to a global change of, district to a capital D.
Yeah, so is this gonna go, just so I understand now, is this gonna be monitored now by the sorry, the trustee, sorry about that, I'm blanking out these days, I don't know why. The library director, or is it, by, the secretary, as far as tracking the changes we're making so that we can have a fresh modified one, so we can work the next time? I don't know how we wanna do this, but I wanna be sure that you don't have a set of notes and you have one and she has one and you have one. Who's keeping track as we do this?
Well, any changes you decide on will be in the minutes, so
Okay.
we'll make that adjustment.
Okay, and then they'll come out with.
Like, it won't be, it won't be a completed
Understood.
approved one, so we'll just be.
Okay, yeah, I'm comfortable with that, all right? You got an idea?
It's just the global change for district starts with capital D.
Okay.
So for the entire document.
I think he wants
No.
lowercase.
Oh, gotcha.
So,
Go ahead.
so this was put in Word edit. So the original policy is directly in here. The only changes to it are marked by change bars on the left column. And it's a line out. I don't have it in color here, but it's a line out for the original that's changed and an underline for the new change. And as far as district, saying, I learned this, Mrs. Ulrich would cringe that I had in the 5th grade. If there's a bunch of people in here that are thinking district should be capitalized. It's not a proper noun unless it's got a name with it, like community library network district would be capitalized district, but just district is not capitalized.
I like it capitalized,
But it's not a proper.
It's not proper names, right? But we're not held to that, but I can live with either way, but I cut you short.
Well, I'm saying we can just go through and look, but you don't have to spend time reading the first, well, you can, but everything that was originally there is in here. The only changes are the strike through is a deletion and the underline is it's a change, like, okay, the second to the bottom, internet. Why is internet capital?
Okay, we're talking about, let's just stay on paragraph, we have to do it, I guess. Let's stay on paragraph 1. If no one opposes that, please
let's just go to general statements. What do you want to change in there? We can agree or not agree. I don't want to see, I like the uppercase on district on the very second line. Go either way. What are thoughts on it?
But isn't it referring to the proper name and the proper
It
name
would be.
of being?
It could be, yes. So,
No, but that-
would you prefer lowercase?
So that's why I think that's why I think they kept it there as capitalized, because they are referring to that without saying CLN.
It has to be sealed.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay, so I prefer uppercase. I understand that trustee Bauman prefers uppercase on the second line there. Trustee Hudson, what are your thoughts?
I also prefer the uppercase.
Okay, that's three. Anybody else want to weigh on
I
that?
do as well, and trustee Bauman definitely put it in the right words too.
Very good. Okay, four of us agree, so we move on with that. What are the changes that we have in there that are being marked up for us on that same paragraph? So we're gonna agree that the same thing at the very last line of that same paragraph, district stays uppercase, is that correct?
Yep.
Yes, okay,
No, that's wrong. But
okay, that's fine.
The other change is 6-year goes to 4-year.
I would agree with that. So the last sentence on that same paragraph says serves a 4-year, I mean, it says 6 years. We want to change that to 4. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Well, don't jump around yet. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah, because that's what it is now.
Yeah, I know, but I want to make sure we all concur. Okay,
And also you skipped over internet.
Oh, my gosh.
I'll come back to the
The
vote.
trustee wants to speak.
I'll come back. So, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, I think we'll have to change it again at the next election, but for now, we do have 4-year and 6-year terms. So maybe we could just have 4 and 6 years for now.
I'm okay with that. You okay with that? He's still serving a 4-year term. I mean, I'm sorry, a 6-year term.
I think
So
change it to what they are. They're elected as 4-year terms now. It's irrelevant. We don't have 6 years, the two of us here, or the
Okay.
three of us.
I'm okay with 4 and 6, both showing up in there.
That's silly.
Other thoughts?
I really don't care. on that.
Because some
I mean,
people are
there's-
serving out of, yeah,
I would say just 4 is fine with me, but 4 and 6 is fine as well.
I can go either way. Not fixate on this one.
Wait, I don't want to fix,
Opinions?
I don't want to fix this again in a couple of years or another year. Just
You
put-
prefer 4, I heard that.
And,
Okay.
and also you skipped over the word
I
internet.
can't do 3 things at once. Let's just stay with the one question at a time. We're on the same paragraph. Do you want to stay with 4 or 6 or a combination of the two? I'm good with either one of them.
4.
You want 4? Anyone else have any preference on that one?
I actually prefer 4.
4? I'm okay with 4. All right, 4 it is. Okay.
That's
You okay
right.
with that? Okay, so now back up. You said we missed something else.
Right above it, internet is not capitalized, or should not be
Could
capitalized,
you identify where that is exactly?
right? Above the word serve,
For 4-year terms.
Oh, okay.
internet access, unless somebody's saying the internet access is a special internet that deserves capitalized, because it's really a CLN internet. Then we should have capitalized it,
I'm not finding it. I'm sorry.
because it is the internet.
Where is it? I'm sorry.
Line 14 on the, or 13 on the original. Yeah,
It's right above. the
last word on 13.
Okay. I don't,
It's not a proper noun.
I'm not seeing it. Sorry, my mind was blanked out. Oh, read there. Okay, here, internet, okay. Okay, so would people like that to be lowercase instead of uppercase? Internet? Yes?
Yes, that's fine.
Yes, I'm fine with that. Okay, very good. Okay. Now, I'd like to make one minor change there. In that same sentence, it says board packet materials are sent electronically. I think that's not correct. I think it should be board packet materials are mailed and or sent electronically. Is that it? Is that a reasonable, is that a good change? Is that okay? Yeah, I got one. Yeah, yeah, okay. Are you okay with that? It says board packet materials are, I'm gonna add mailed and or sent electronically. You have to give it on some things. Please go ahead.
I don't think this is specifying how board packet materials are sent, but because material is sent, I think you could take out the word packet and just say board materials are sent electronically. So internet access is a necessity. I would actually change the word so, but it's because material is sent electronically that internet access is a necessity.
Oh, sorry, Trustee Robinson, please.
Well, I would say leave in the packets are mailed because they are mailed. And if you don't have internet at your home, maybe you're way out in the woods, you still would get it, your paper packet. So it's really kind of not necessary. You really could just put mailing in and take out the internet part. But I'm fine with both.
Everybody's good.
The point is, of the sentence is that board members need to have internet access.
They
It's
don't?
not, well, they do,
No, they don't.
because email is sent out, different things are communicated. Anyway, I would just say board material is sent out electronically, and so internet access is a necessity.
Trustee
Are we
Robinson.
gonna turn down
You
a
can,
candidate?
you can
No,
go
no,
to the
no, please,
local library.
let him finish.
You can go to your local library and sign into your email and get it there. You don't have to have the internet yourself.
I'll let you finish, please.
The whole point of this is that trustees need to have internet. And if it's irrelevant, then let's strike the whole sentence. Let's not explain the board packet materials are mailed. If we don't need internet, then let's strike the sentence. If we do need internet, then we need to require it.
The comments on this. So my recommendation was board packet materials are mailed and or sent electronically. I was gonna put any other comment, whatever you call it there, semicolon, internet access is a necessity. If it's not, it's not. So what do you like?
I don't care.
These are exhausting, I
The
agree.
thing is, if it only says that a person has to have internet and somebody doesn't, they're gonna read this and stop at that first paragraph and say, I guess I don't qualify to be a trustee, and that's not true.
So we'd like to strike, is that what you're suggesting we strike internet access as a necessity?
Actually, at this point, yes.
Strike the whole sentence if you're gonna do that. That was the point, is saying that you're not qualified to be a trustee candidate or a trustee if you don't have internet.
Okay, I never read that before.
That's the point of this sentence.
So are we okay if we modify it between both of us, just say board packet materials are mailed and or sent electronically and leave it at that?
No,
Yeah.
there's no point of even having.
You don't have to have internet, yes.
Yes,
Yes, I'm,
yes,
I like
yes.
Just strike the sentence if you're not.
All
gonna
right, so
say
that's what we agreed to in this sentence. Okay, you disagree.
so did you read the sentence?
So we're gonna stick as board packet materials are mailed and or sent electronically, period, and we strike out and internet access is a necessity.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Were there any other changes to that paragraph? Because that's about as far as we're gonna get today. Nothing else? Very good. All right, we'll push this one off for another meeting and we'll get we'll call it an updated version with the one paragraph changes for the next meeting. Thank you. Thank you. Policies are painful. Looks like break is on the horizon. It is now, I'll call it 3:50, so we'll reconvene at 3:55. 3:60, yeah. 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, yes. 4 p.m. We'll reconvene at 4 p.m. We are reconvening. It is 4 p.m. Next item on our agenda is going to executive session pursuant to Idaho Code 74-2061B and F. This is a roll call vote, so those all in favor of going to the executive session, just
Why do we have to have a motion?
I believe we do. Yes, So moved.
Yeah, all right, so is it a move? Thank you, I appreciate that. Is it a move to go to executive session pursuant to Idaho Code 74-2061 B and F? All those in favor of starting down there, trustee Robinson?
Robinson, I.
Trustee Bowman, trustee Toya. I myself, I say unanimous, so we will now go into executive session. And I think we need to move most of the laptops through. Disconnect, yeah. Okay. All right, we're back in regular session. We're on line item, agenda item number 14.
No,
Yeah, no.
Oh,
we need to finish off 13.
oh, okay, that's what to go out. Oh, we did already.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right, right, okay.
Is Esther.
After that, yeah. So the board, let's go back to that one, right? The board is authorized?
or, yeah, that we proceed as directed.
Yeah, so we have to make a motion on that, right?
Yep.
You're gonna make
Yeah.
a motion?
So, yeah, so I would entertain a motion for the board to authorize the chair and council to proceed as directed.
So moved.
So moved. It is moved that the board authorizes the chair and council to proceed as directed. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. Sorry, missed that. Okay, next item up is the strategic plan now, this time. I'm going to turn my page over. We've got the draft provided to us electronically and a hard desk copy here. And so is the director wish to?
Yeah.
go through this?
So it's fine. I mean, in the interest of time, there's a couple things we can do. I should notice during the earlier thing about the trustee job description that it does say participates in creating and approving the district strategic plan. So I looked at like the last strategic plan, there wasn't any indication that you approved it. Like in my experience, the first page of the strategic plan, no matter how nice it looks, whatever, it'll say at the bottom, approved by the board on such and such a date. If that's the case, then like what you're looking at now is only the objectives and activities, but there's gonna be, is it gonna be like a 20-page, it's gonna be 16, we go 16-page document, right? Which is gonna have history, images, statistics, how we got in the process, and then this part. If you want to approve all that, then we can bump this to the February meeting where we'll present a mock-up that will go to the printers. You'd approve it, the next day we would release the digital version, and then it would go to the printers, and so if that's, I didn't think that was the case because I looked at the last one and it never says anywhere on there approved by the board. Right? If it doesn't need to be approved by you, then you can just look at these and say, yeah, great, go ahead. Right? If you want to have it say approved by the board, which it says in your job description here, then you're only approving this, right? And you're not necessarily approving the final publication, which is typically what would happen is you get to see the thing right before it goes to the printing or before it gets released, and you approve the whole thing. So all you're looking at here is just that one portion of it, which is obviously the most important portion, but it's not the whole portion. So depending on how you want to handle that, I don't know if there's anything, I didn't see any strategic plan previous to the last one. So I don't know whether historically it had like an approval date, so there's that. Yeah, so otherwise, I mean, in my mind, if we weren't going that route, we could have hashed this out and talked about this here. But basically, this is the culmination of your feedback from the survey, all the staff feedback, the community stuff. So another scenario is that you can provide me with feedback at any point between now. I just want to get that final piece done so I can move on with Nate into publication. So we can talk about it extensively here, or we can say, we'll provide you guys can provide me with feedback. I'll come back with a mock-up of the actual document for approval. So there's a couple ways we can play it, up to you. So
I think, I trustee Anderson was first, I think, and then okay.
Yeah, I think we tackled over it, paragraph by paragraph last time and it was approved. So yeah, I think you give you feedback and then I'm pretty sure it does need to be approved.
Trustee Anderson,
And I was thinking, if this is like the bones of the 16-page document, maybe it would be good to talk about, excuse me, talk about this, because it might be hard to, ferret out all the little things in that big of a document. That's just my thoughts. I only have one thing on my notes anyway.
I tend to agree to a degree. I think we do need to look at, I like the idea of what called the outline, the bones right here, as opposed to going through it, each shiny glossy page with all the nice pictures on it, but, do you have that? Yeah.
I'm just wondering, there's a lot of things that we're going to do, and I didn't see much. Are these all new things that we're doing besides? And then is this kind of the culmination of everybody's wishes put together, or did some things get thrown out? Or the other thing is, what is some of this gonna cost us if we agree to do this? What are we gonna, I mean, where did this passport agency services come from, and notary? You can go to a bank, you can go to, I mean, I don't know why we're getting involved in some of these things. I think service to seniors and assisted living, if they've got their own van to come here, I don't know why we're spending money going there, right in town. Anyway, it seems like there's a lot of things that are gonna cost a lot of money. I don't want to just agree to everything. I don't know how we're gonna do it.
You know, so we did a lot of surveys and so forth, that came in, staff were interviewed and so forth, and then is this a culmination or a summary? Or is it things that were maybe even in some cases thrown out there, but never even agreed to by some group? Or I'm not 100% sure where we are at this point, this stage personally.
Yeah, so you're looking at the culmination of all of the data gathering mechanisms over the last year. So the survey, general public survey, the focus groups, the stakeholder meetings, all that was compiled. We enlisted Michael Wolfson, the facilitator. He was the one that sent out the pre-retreat day survey to the board, one for the board, one for the staff. All that is, and that day itself, with staff input on that day, is everything on this piece of paper here has either come from an idea from the board's interest, the director, hopefully the one delivering that, if it wasn't already there. It's coming from the community surveys, the staff. So this is the culmination of the whole entire exercise. And there's actually, you can approve this. This isn't, the only thing that might change here is a little wordsmith in here or there, right? And you're right, if you don't want to improve the images and the history and that's the title page, like after this is design elements. It's design and plugging things in like a magazine where it's laid out. These aren't like this, this is what we're gonna do. We're saying this is what we're committing to. Now, we're committing to this because that's what people ask for, and we think that's the direction to go. It doesn't mean that we are necessarily gonna, when we start investigating the cost of leasing locker location spaces and investing in those, and we, oh, wow, it's a 4-year plan. So with the finance department, how are we gonna achieve this goal, right? Maybe it's not, we're not starting with 10 lockers throughout the district in the first year, right? So it's a strategic plan. It's meant to be the full time. And that's why there really aren't times on here. We're not saying we're gonna have all these done by 26 or 27, or it's not that, it's only a 4-year thing. So anyway, so yeah, we can belabor every single thing, shouldn't we do this? But this is all coming from staff, the community, the board, and leadership. And this is it, so.
Sure.
Go ahead, completeness.
It's kind of like it's like, these are our goals. And this is almost like, this is our wish list, but we're not just wishing for it, we're gonna attempt to do it. Correct? I mean, it's not like you were saying, it's not like everything on here is gonna be done in 1 year. This is it's a plan, a strategic plan.
Yeah, and I think the wording is important, right? Because established notary services at target branches is saying that we're committed to establish notary services. And we look at that and we already looked into it. We're not just throwing this on the page. But explore passport agency services, and we're going to explore it. If in 2029 we explored it and we decided against it,
Mhm.
right? A passport agency is actually a moneymaker, it's not you make money off it, you don't lose money on it, but anyway, so if it says explore, expand, right, assess, we're promising the community, we listened to them, we heard them, we're going to look into these things. The ones that are more firm, like, established, stuff, that's, we're committed to doing that a little bit more concrete, like, the wording matters, because we're committing to either assessing it, looking at it, right? Or just like when I think we're committed to expanding service hours to include after school and evenings, like, there isn't that much on here which you probably weren't aware of coming from the community. And again, I'm open to fielding any questions about specific things, like what does this mean, or what's the idea here, but you're right. You're gonna get to 2029. And every year we should be doing this. We should be, like, where are we on this plan? Like, this is meant to be a living document. In my mind, it should be up on every staff person's office wall with highlight marks on the ones that apply to their department. Like, what do they need to? It's just some stuff's gonna be done by programming, some stuff's gonna be done by finance, right? There are certain goals on here that apply to each department, and this needs to be a living document, so we need to come back to it and eventually check it off, or say, we looked at it, we're not gonna check it off, right? We can't do this thing. So that's basically what it is.
Okay, sorry, just a follow-up.
Please.
Okay, so literally the one that I was looking at starts with assess. So I'm not even gonna ask about it.
I'm
Because-
intrigued.
Huh?
I'm intrigued. Which one?
Well, of course, the potential for a low and fixed income program for non-resident card
Yeah.
applicants.
Yeah,
And again, that's coming from the community / the frontline staff saying this is something they hear what they're interested in,
Right,
right? So I'm taking that feedback and the answer, like, nothing really has been pushed to the side.
yeah,
Anything that really rose to the top in any of the mechanisms for data gathering is being considered. And then it's being considered more closely by the staff at the retreat, is being considered here. Like, so you could say, the board said, we're not gonna do this, and then you take it out. So we're still at that stage, but if you're okay with it, in that case, it is something that we've been asked and talked about.
right.
We'll look
Well,
at it.
in that case, I would want it taken out, but I don't know what the rest of the board thinks of that. That's, do you guys see where that is, like basically in the middle?
that was a big red flag for me as well, but go ahead. Sorry. Trustee Martis.
Yes, because it seems like, again, we're putting it on our taxpayers to subsidize others, so if we did leave it in, maybe it could be dedicated donations that pay for that rather than our taxpayers, but otherwise I'm good with taking it out. And I also, the established notary services at target branches in the same section and explore passport agency services. Seems like those are not the proper role of the library or the government to compete with private businesses and probably, for their business.
And I looked at this thing as well, it's a, the plan as a whole, it's an organizational, I'll call it a vision to start with. Goes into, I think, a strategic plan, and really there's business plans that would usually follow after that to actually start measuring, accomplishing certain things, but I would say just my quick take on it, not quick take, I did look at this before the meeting that for the most part, I'm comfortable with it, it's, but I would need to look at it more carefully when we say things like assess as opposed to doing. I want to look at that and see what am I signing up for here? Do I like this or not? So, I'm not gonna go through every one of these things, but I have a question like on the very beginning, expand on-site programming with district partners. I think maybe that means with volunteers in the community, I don't know, but, so I'm not sure I understand what the asking for there. So about locker locations, it's maybe a great thing, I just don't really know what it is exactly in mind. Is it expensive? Are these local areas who put things in there? I definitely had issues maybe, or certainly questions about fixed income and so forth. It's like, if you don't live in this district and you pay a fee, that's it. I don't see why we would subsidize a penny. They can get funding from somebody else if but I mean, that one was a little sticky. Beyond that, just understanding what a web design accessibility guideline is, a WA or WCAG, whatever. And beyond that, launching a quarterly magazine, are we talking a hard copy or electronic one? when it came down to the profit, let's see, explore the profit and after hours meeting use and so forth. Is there a legal issue on that if we wanted to charge people to use the meeting room? I don't know the answer. Again, maybe that's to explore, so it's not maybe have to be answered. And then developing a facilities master plan. I didn't know if that means for building out, expansion, new wing, a new facility, or does it mean a maintenance? It doesn't say maintenance, but it could be facility maintenance. So I had a couple of things like that, or the library of things. Are we looking at maybe expanding that, maybe not expanding it, doing away with it? So I don't have a lot of notes on that. That was pretty much the extent of what I have here. But I just don't, I'd have to look at it again now. If what I'm hearing is that we're exploring certain things, we're not obliging or obligating ourselves and signing off and agreeing to this strategic plan. Because if there's certain things that are definitely questionable, I don't want my name on it yet until I agree. But I don't really necessarily want to beat every single item to death either. So that's my quick spin. Yes.
I would like this rework to either give, there's all these different prefix words, launch, host, improve, establish, explore. We're not consistent. You know, I don't know what assess library of things. I assume that means we're kind of look into it. Then there's increased workforce development program. To me, that's Idaho Department of Labor has a full program over there. If you get laid off, you can go help learn and do things. I don't think we should be duplicating what government agencies are doing already.
It might be continuing education.
Well, I don't know what it means, but what I'm asking for is something like a number rating. But maybe 1 through 4 or 1 through 5. 5 means there's a really strong interest and we're already doing it or we're gonna do it. Or maybe put a 5 on expand service hours and assess feasibility down below it. Seasonal target hours, put a 1. They're just gonna look into it, but I don't know the intensity of what each of these words mean. And I would go for a number, but I definitely feel there's things that the library has no business doing just because people out there are asking for it. Why are we doing trained certificate program or mastery in target areas? They can go take classes at NIC. I don't think the library should be doing some of these things.
Some of those ones in the last strategic, it said the last strategic priority is internal, so that's not for patrons, that's for staff.
Oh,
Yeah, the 4th strategic priority has internal and parentheses provided. That's, those are kind of,
okay, I didn't look at that.
that's all related to.
But can we get a number of how serious you are or how much goes on to these instead of?
I mean, it's not the normal way a strategic plan is done. I mean, I do think the first word, expand, establish, assess, that is kind of telling us.
But then give me a key, what the word means. We got all these different words, establish, develop, maintain, assess.
Well, if it's a
We have
word,
4 or 5 different words and I could relate them to the.
but if it's a word that suggests a continuation, then it means that we are doing it, we're gonna do more of it. Or in some way, the quantity's changing of the thing, so if we're expanding, increase, expand, that all means more of. If it's establish, launch, that's first time adding kind of thing.
And assess, what does assess mean?
There's
in
too
this
many different
case?
words. I can't figure it out from the words.
No.
Anyway, I'm willing to do this.
Streamline, compete, complete. Form a design. I don't know what form, streamline or compete. How that's.
We certainly could look at it and then take all synonyms for establish and turn them all into establish. We could,
No, I wouldn't want to.
you know what I mean? I mean, because for me, it's a work of art as well, right? It's not just a
Bullet
function.
points. Oh.
Yeah, it's when we publish it, it says something, this is the whole reason why I have marketing department.
Yeah.
It says something about us. And so to me, words do matter. And you know, I do have a master's degree in English literature as well. The words are there for a reason and they do mean what the English word means. So I mean, streamline does mean streamline. Informed doesn't mean formed.
But the seriousness of what we're gonna do,
Trustee Bauman's next up, sorry.
launch for.
Trustee Bauman has the floor. Wait, I'm trying to trade it around so you'll get a chance to have equal input.
I think we're at a turning point and in a new beginning for the CLN. And I read this and I was really excited about it and really excited about the plan. And I think that it really covers what I've heard the public saying that they're interested in. And then also what I'm interested in. And then obviously I think what the staff is interested in. And I think it's very important that we move forward in this new position that we're in, just as a CLN as its own entity, with a really great vision and set of goals for the public. Because the public is insecure about what we're doing moving forward. They've heard a lot of different things. They're not sure what's real and what's not real. They're not sure what's really happening and not happening. They don't all have time to watch our meetings and to really get a feel for what's going on. And I think this is a great way for them to understand that we're not only listening to them. It doesn't mean that we're going to give them everything that's in this or anything and everything that they want, but at least we're listening to them and we're going to go and explore it and see what we can make happen and how we can make the CLN the most robust it could possibly be for the entire community. So I'm really excited about this. And I'm really grateful for all the work that you guys have put into it. So thank you.
I do think that this is probably somewhat typical of what I think a vision plan or rather a strategic plan looks like in general. They usually do have these, I won't say lofty words, but it's a softer document than the actual business side of what we actually execute. And I do think I would like to look and see if there are one or two things, and not right now, we're not gonna get it done tonight, but a thing or two that I might have an issue with and wanna ask a question on. I don't necessarily wanna overhaul this. I mean, it's we'll call it a work of combination of everybody involved in getting to this stage. And I do think we need the public to know what do we ideally want to look like, so to speak, when it comes to a strategic plan. So again, it's this software is somewhat different than we're used to dealing with in a policy. Assistant Director, if that's it, no one objects, please go.
Vanessa and Rochelle and I were here for the last strategic plan.
Okay.
And I am wondering, having gone through that, there was terms were thrown around that it was boilerplate or that it was basic and didn't really meet our needs. And so for me, I am curious of what that looks like to not be boilerplate. And does this satisfy that? Because it would be a lot of sadness and hard work if we spend 4 years doing this, and it's not what the board wants or it's deemed boilerplate. And so I just want to raise that issue so we don't run into that problem and waste our time and resources again. So I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes, I'm assuming that the incoming, I'll call it that.
Point of order.
The things that was put together, this,
Point of order.
it's 6 o'clock speaking. Your point is-
We're
yes,
over
please.
time
Yes, okay,
by an hour.
okay. Would we like to extend for a few minutes, like maybe 5 to 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Okay, I hear 10 minutes, is that okay?
If somebody else does the motion.
Yeah,
I move that we extend the meeting 10 minutes.
it's been moved to extend the meeting by 10 minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? All right, we extend the meeting. Trustee Brown, what did I get your name? I was sent all the time. I did okay this time. This is one of,
Yeah, so this does seem a lot more tailored to ours than I meant to start out with, but I appreciate, so much of this is just like, oh, that's awesome. Yeah, this is good. And yeah, this is more of a fit for us. It doesn't seem like boilerplate. It's gonna be in there somewhere.
class.
So I guess what I'm still confused about is what is the priority of each of these things? And maybe it's just simply, instead of trying to worry about the word, if you can put in top to bottom, order them. So like activity, CLN, well, if it's I don't know if established notary service is the top priority, but anyway, put them in order so I can look at it and see these are the things that were the strongest in this area. Could that be done?
I mean, it's possible, but if you think of it in terms of 500 other things not on this list, this is the priority. That's why we call it strategic priorities. So if it's on here, it made it here because of the process which got it here. Like, as I read it, I think almost every single line, I know that this came from the community, came from the board's wishes, came from my staff. So there's nothing on here that's really jumping out and saying, where'd this come from? Like, everything on here came from somewhere. So this is it is in priority order. It's just not alphabetical order or any other kind of order. It's just in the whole thing. That's the whole purpose.
Well, I mean, the assessed library of things doesn't mean we're doing more with library of things. That means you're going to look at it. What I'm talking about is what are the things we're really gonna do as opposed to just evaluate. Develop facilities for master plan. I don't know how that fits in, but frankly, I don't wanna do all the things on this list. And I wanna get a dollar amount somehow or another on what it's gonna cost us to do these things. If somebody's gonna go crazy with library of things, we already cut out money for some of that. Just because some people said they want it, I don't think they're gonna get it.
But this will be built into the budgetary process, you know. We're not, all of a sudden lockers aren't gonna show up all over the place. It is going to be part of the budget. We're gonna come to you with, like, this is what we have to do here and here. Collection development is 250,000, that's secure, that's strong. This is where we're getting the money or how we're doing this, like, so. It's all kind of part of it, we are gonna try, and you can't, you're not gonna prioritize, we're gonna assess harder than we are gonna expand, right? We're gonna set the same amount of 100% of our eagerness to do something, regardless of where it is on this list. Like, we're gonna assess it as best as we can, and we're gonna expand something as best as we can, and we're gonna explore something, establish something. But I don't really understand the gradation scale.
Well, because first line item, increased delivery to seniors and assisted living. So if you're really gonna do that, I'm looking now, we're gonna buy another van, or we're gonna hire staff to do this. I don't think you can just go do these things without consequences. And we cut back on the vans, and you know, I don't know what district partners is, but you can't just go increase weekend and programming without increasing your programming staff. All of this has cost, and yeah, it's gonna have to get budgeted, but I don't think as a board member, I wanna agree to everything in here. I wanna sign off and say this is what we're gonna do.
What is the objective for this? Is this an action item? Is the director looking for us to okay this right now, or to say we're not ready to okay it?
Well, that's kind of what my very first things I said was we need to establish whether or not this needs board approval. And I don't have any evidence that it does, because the last one doesn't. If you go get the last one, I don't think you'll find anywhere in the document as you flip through it, it says approved by the board on such and such a date. Now, maybe in the minutes somewhere, but the document itself doesn't have that. But then trustee Audison said that it did require, and also the job description said that it requires board approval. So that's why I said, listen, what do you want to approve? If you want to approve these bullet points, you got to do that. And you should do it today. If you want to do it at the next meeting, then that bumps publication and the marketing department further down. Like, I'd love to launch this by March 1st at the latest, because we're ready a couple
This
months.
2026.
It's the 26 to 29 plan.
Right.
So it needs to come out in early 26. So, but if you want to approve the full shebang, which is normally how I've done in the past, like I present, this is going to print, images, design, everything, and board says, boom, board approved on such and such a date. But if you just want to approve these, then it's a different story.
Trustee Rosa.
I'm really afraid if we don't approve this version, the 16-page version is going to be a nightmare, and it will be maybe 2028. Legitimately, that it gets approved. So I'm gonna right now just move that we approve the strategic priority, the strategic plan draft.
Probably just the heading of this, strategic.
I move that we approve the strategic priorities, objective activities, 2026 to 2029.
Is it moved that we approve the strategic priorities, objectives, activities, 2026, 2029? Still open for discussion. Trustee Addison.
Okay, so I can forego all the other questions I had on page 2 and 3, but the objective, remove barriers to access, bullet points 1, 2, and 5 don't seem to align with the statutory reason for libraries, which is education. And I really think that it competes with private sector, except for, well, the last one just doesn't seem like an appropriate use of our taxpayer funds to pay for other people who don't live in our district.
Which ones are those?
Yeah, could you repeat?
Okay, so under objective, remove barriers to access. First,
What page?
oh, page 1.
Okay.
Where are you?
So it's the third
Okay,
objective
fair
now, and it's the first, second, and 5th bullet points. I don't think that those align with education.
Established notary, that one?
Yeah,
Okay,
establishment.
and ask for, and then that last one.
Yep.
I had the exact same ones marked, but I didn't like.
And those were concerns of mine as well. Just other than that, trustee, comment.
Doesn't the post office do passports? So wouldn't it be just fine if we did passports also? We're another government entity very similar to the post office. I think it's really convenient for people, and exploring the world with a passport is educational. I just don't see what the problem is, especially when the director said that it could be a moneymaker as well. I mean, I think we should open ourselves up for things that might be different vectors and different directions to go into, but that still fit within the plan that the public wants. I don't see a problem with the passports at all.
Cost money to hire somebody to do this stuff.
Yes, okay. No objection, please go ahead.
I may, just a reminder, this is obviously a year's work of like research and different groups coming together. It's not every single person is gonna agree to every single thing on this list. And so if we do that, we're starting again. And like the trustee Robinson is saying that you can look at the 16 pages, but I believe that this is something that appeared on everyone's radar that has gotten us to this place. And when it comes to the passports, when it comes to the notary, again, I think we're gonna look into it. And if this is the benefit, and this could be something that potentially could help bring in some revenue, or some resources to the community, then great. And yes, there are public sectors, and I believe even other libraries, I think, do have some of these services. I don't know if the director is aware, but I think I've heard of other libraries having certain services like passports so why not tap into it? What do we have to lose?
We have to extend the meeting again.
Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna get past this. Yeah, that's-
And then, can I just call the question after I extend the meeting? Can I call my own question? Okay, I move that we extend the meeting until 6:20. And I call the question.
It's been moved to extend the meeting until 6:20. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? No, okay, what was your question?
I called the question.
Oh, okay.
I made a
Oh.
motion.
Vote on the motion.
Hear that, okay.
My motion? You
Yeah,
didn't
I'm not
remember?
sure if you can or not, but I
Huh?
remember it saying you can, but.
Well, yeah, I remember, yeah, I do remember her, moving, they will approve the strategic,
Yeah.
priorities.
At least
We
we'll
vote
get
on
a
it.
yay, nay for today.
And I think there's a lot of questions still, but, trustee Ballmer, yeah. you
I
have a
think
question.
the biggest point is to what everybody's saying is that we're not married to every single thing on this list. This is just the vision, the goals. We're setting a table, and maybe we're not gonna eat everything on that table, but we're setting the table because this is based on what the board is interested in, what the public is interested in, and what the staff is interested in. So then we're gonna now, within our budget, within whatever constraints we have, we're gonna work this in. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it does work, great. I don't think we're married to any of it. And so I think we're sort of nickel and diming something that we don't have to, because us saying yes to this tonight does not mean, oh my gosh, we have to have, passport services. Otherwise, we didn't follow what we were supposed to do. I think that we need to have we need to cast a really positive, great vision moving forward, and this document does that. And I don't believe I'm gonna hold anybody accountable, and anybody's gonna hold anybody accountable for every single word on this document or concept on the document.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, but I think that it behooves us.
Excuse me, Chair, I called the question.
Oh, you're right, you're right,
You're right.
you're right.
So we need a vote on that.
Yeah, so. The question has been called, so we now have to go ahead and I guess make a vote, yes or no, to approve the strategic.
No. We vote on whether
Oh, that's
we're
right,
going to
okay.
uphold
We're
her
voting.
question.
We're voting, yeah. I'll get refreshed on this again now. We're voting to go ahead and vote to approve the strategic priorities.
Without further discussion.
Yeah, so we're just voting to go ahead and proceed with voting. Is that
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So by doing this, we're agreeing that we're gonna go ahead and vote. So if we say no, we're not voting on it, and if we say yes, we will. So.
And if you say yes
I
to
think
this, you
motion.
can still vote no on the,
Yeah, so
Yeah.
those in favor of proceeding with a vote, is that what we'll say there?
Sounds good.
On the strategic priorities plan, say aye.
I'm not sure if you said that right, but
Yeah, so you're in
To-
favor of voting on it now?
We're
yes.
voting on whether to vote.
Yeah, okay, so, all right, got it, you're right. So I'm voting not to vote right now.
Not
Okay.
to vote.
Yeah, not to vote on it,
I'm a nay.
no. Yes, no,
Yes.
yes, okay, and trustee Bellman?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so two people, so we can't vote on it yet. So I don't know where we go from there. I don't know, thinking myself now, I don't want to nickel dime this thing either. I don't want to analyze every single thing on here now or even in the future. But I just feel like at least two or three things, a couple of us have concerns about, I think.
Yep.
Specific ones, and I don't think it's across the board with everybody, but
There's too much information we need, like, what's the quarterly magazine gonna cost us? Who's it gonna go to? Why are we agreeing that we're gonna do a quarterly magazine just because a group of people wanted it? What are we cultivating?
Point of order,
Partnership.
point of order.
please take final order.
We've already extended the meeting 3 times. We're an hour 15 past our regular departure time. We still have 5, 10, 15 minutes of potential things to discuss. Can we at least stop talking about this?
What can the, I guess, let me ask you, what would the,
You should rule on the point of order.
Courtney,
I think you should rule on her point of order, whether it's well taken or not well taken.
did you make a point of order?
Yeah.
Okay, so, in other words, well, it's taken favorably, I guess we'll say, that we have to look at it.
I'm just saying, we beat this horse
Yeah,
until it's already dead for today. I know we're gonna revive it for next meeting, but we have 15 minutes left of other action items that we need to get to, and we're already an hour and 15 minutes, 16 minutes past our original time to leave. So can we lay this one down right now?
that's what I'm wondering, yeah, so if you don't mind, just the suggestion.
Well, I just wanted to caution, I'm cautioning on the right term.
Yeah.
This isn't the board strategic plan. This is the strategic plan for the library resulting from multiple mechanics that gave us data. So I think that there are things on here that I know the board wants on here. I put them there, right? And then there are things here that I know the community wants to put them there, and the staff. So if we're trying to hammer this down, so it's only what the board wants, you have to ask yourself if that's what we should be doing, since this is a public library, and we kind of have to satisfy the community requests, right? I mean, that is essentially, you're voted in as boards, and that's a massive piece of what does the community want, but there are other pieces besides that piece, and this is one of those pieces, right? We went through all the steps that one takes in order to get a strategic plan, so, again, as far as I'm concerned, you can belabor this to death. it just means that I'm not publishing it until March, April, May, and maybe I change the time, it's gonna be 2026 or it'll be 2027. It doesn't really affect me on our, we're still gonna do everything we're gonna try and do. I just don't want you guys to like look at every single line. Does this align with what the board wants? Because it's more than just the board, right? As long as there's something on here, you don't, if you wanna take out the low income, take it out. That's okay, right? I can work with that. I can finesse these things in other ways, but if you want to take something out, this violates, and I don't think, I wouldn't have put it in here. If I thought you guys would say this violates the board's, I don't think there's anything in here like that. And I'm willing to meet with you one-on-one and try and convince you that passport agency work, actually, bringing 200,000 a year, that is your extra, right? Okay, or this or that. I'm willing to sit with each of you and go through line by line, so it's not in this setting, that you guys don't feel comfortable. What does this mean? What's the goal here? Right? That's fine. So I just throw that out there. Whatever you guys want to do.
Trustee Powell?
Also, we still as a board vote on the budget every year. So if there's something that pops up into the budget that we don't think we can afford, we then take it out then, but we don't have to take it away from the vision currently, especially if it possibly does fit into our budget moving forward. So I just think that having a really great vision that's exciting to people in the long term is really good for the CLN. And this is what listening to, as board members, I think we're supposed to listen to the community, listen to staff, listen to the director, and then also listen to, what the people are saying that they want. And why would we spend so much time accumulating all this information if we're not gonna actually take it seriously and try to see how we can implement it? And none of it is, we have not said on here that we're absolutely doing it. So I am absolutely fine with voting on it as it is and moving forward.
Or should we consider, for 1 month, to rethink this and have time to speak with the director? I don't know. Yes, as long as you're not going through line by line here. We can do that.
I'd like this to be reworked and some priorities set on them and some costs.
Point of order,
Just a minute.
point of order,
Whatever.
we're over time again.
Okay, it's not a point of order. I'm just saying, can he work this?
Point of
Give us-
order,
Can
for
he come back?
overtime,
Can he come
for
back?
overtime.
A little more
I
information for
recognize
us.
that point of order there favorably, sorry. So we're out of time again?
Yeah.
Is it impossible
And
to put this
I
on?
personally can't stay any longer. I'm
Yeah.
already very late for something.
Yeah, I'd like to go home and have dinner. Is there any reason why we can't solve this by next month? Would that be acceptable? Right now, we're kind of in an impasse. You have issues on there, you'd like to proceed, you might want to proceed. I got 1 or 2 issues on there, and I certainly don't want to beat this line by line and put values on it and prioritize them myself. But I don't think we're gonna get past that tonight.
I don't want to sign up for something you
I know.
have to do. Because we're gonna have to raise taxes. And
No.
a lot of people put input in this that don't pay taxes.
Mr. Brown?
But again, we are not married to any of it, so we are not raising taxes based on this. So we still have all the power to say, nope, sorry, that one's not gonna work in the budget, the next budget. But that's not what's happening. But we don't know yet the cost. That's why it's exploratory.
Some of it says increase.
So we haven't made a decision. Is there a reason why I'm sorry. Yes, please.
I would just suggest that any board member who has issues with any of the bullet points should make an appointment with me. Come see me. I can help flesh it out in that form rather than here, because that would be, we're already looking at 2 possible presenters at the next February meeting for the FAFI contract. So I think it would be best that, if you have questions about this, so I can understand what does that mean? I can show you what the vision means one-on-one, and then we can visit it at the February meeting, and maybe everyone will be satisfied by then, and we can prove it.
We get concurrence, we put this on till next month?
No.
Yes?
We don't have a choice.
I know,
Yeah.
it certainly looks like that. I agree. It's done. So, okay. Response to public comment. Anyone have a response to public comment?
No.
Nope. Okay,
I did, but I'll put it up.
Put it up. okay, appreciate that. Okay, and then discussion for future agenda requests. I really, anything particular hot? Okay, no, I gave out the parking lot issues we brought up in the past.
So they can still be put on the agendas, nothing. All right, and any okay, our next meeting scheduled for, and I'll fit here, February 19th. Anything else? Anything a motion to abstain? Adjourn.
Move
Thank you.
to adjourn.
It's been moved to be adjourned. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. We're here, I adjourned.